Hello again, I'm Anderson. I invest for myself in Brazilian and Latin American value and dividend stocks. And I use this channel to express my thoughts, portfolio, and ideas and convictions. Today's video is about mistakes. Three big mistakes I committed in the last 3 years. The first one, this company called Espaço Laser. Espaço Laser is leading on hair removal in Brazil, laser hair removal in Brazil, a service that I thought with a massive trend, a secular trend. In fact, on that moment, only 5% of Brazilian humans use laser hair removal, and comparing with 45% on Spain, for example. Of course, there are two different markets, but anyway, it's a trend, a gap that we will feel throughout the years. My rationale with Espaço Laser is that the company was the leading, so they were investing a lot to have first mover advantage, and once they had a first mover advantage and the market became like winners take most, we could expect higher price and a customer that will not do a service that is almost a medical service in any new company. Well, I think that is not this what occurred. I think no, I saw that is not this what occurred. What went wrong? The market grew. I was right on that point. The market grew a lot, but the mode to have the first entry is not so strong as I thought. The brand was not so strong, and worse than this, start to appear a lot of small companies backed by celebrities like actors. So the market enter in a price war, and including Espaço Laser start to offer a full package with 10 sessions by 99 reais, like $20 on when the normal price, the retail price, should be something like 100, 1,500, 1,400 reais. That is the price, the average price they have today, in fact. Well, they was offering like 99 reais on the first time by customer, with the idea that the customer could return. So it was a bet on lifetime value. So they are almost gifting 10 sessions only to explore the lifetime value to customers. So these 10 sessions, the first hair removal, the one part of the body, is like a marketing expense instead to be an income. It's a strong sign that the company was not putting, it's not commanding a pricing power. Of course not. Well, I clearly missed the fact that the technical barrier will become more easier as laser hair removal became more popular in Brazil. The technical barrier also became more easier because or became uh, lower because the risk was lower. It's more easy to invest on equipments on hair removal because the investors, the new companies already know that the demand exists. Well, I bought this company and in not bad moment, in fact, they went on IPO on, oh, no, it's not this one. Oh, here. They went to IPO at 190. I bought on 18. When I bought, I thought impossible to drop more. It's wrong because always could drop more, could reach zero. So I bought on 18. They stopped went to 14, 16, 13. After return to 18, to 20, and in the moment that stock returned to 20, I have no confidence anymore in the stock. So the right thing to do is to sell. The right thing to do is to sell even with loss, even at 14, once I lost the confidence. But as I didn't want to sell with a loss, I should have sell with a profit on 20. But on that moment, I thought, well, if we went to 20, maybe we'll go to 30 or to 40. Maybe it's better to wait. Another mistake, another one in a row. The stock did not return to 20, and in fact, nowadays it is on 8. So the average price I bought is 13 because I bought on 18, and after I think that I bought on 10. Thinking that it's impossible to drop more, that the worst it's already passed again, and even this way we have a price divided by average price less 40%, losing a lot. Mistakes here. First, I used to have a rule to buy only companies with revenue, profits, and dividends. Espaço Laser didn't have neither dividend, neither strong profit several years in a row. So I didn't follow my rule. That is the point. Also, I didn't follow betting in a first mover advantage, in moats, on the pricing power, all these things that are on the future, that did not exist, that are possibilities, only optionalities. Well, I should have sell on where once the opportunity appeared, and I didn't do it. When we saw the income, we see that the company grew from 2021 to 2025. And last 12 months, we see a little bit growth from 2025. The point is that this growth is not a growth for a company that we think that will be the first mover, that will have a first mover advantage, that will dominate the market, that will become the leader in the market, that the winner takes most. All I never thought that winners take all in this market, but winner take most. It's not this kind of growth we hope. And on net margin, in this one, gross margin, it's not negative, could be higher, but okay, it's okay. But net margin from 1%, less 5% negative. So this one we should see what happened. And the point is that the company has a lot of debt that they got to buy competitors, small competitors, in the moment that they are planning to be the the the, the leader and the reference to the market. Well, this is a mistake. I bought maybe not wrong price, but I bought the wrong company. Now let's go this one. Let's see this one. Intelbras. Intelbras is a Brazilian company that search from trends on electronics, device. They are always looking for trends worldwide and bring to manufacture in Brazil, or to bring the components and do the last mile, the last part here. A good company with a wrong price. It's another history here, another story. The point is, the company used to have 13-14% net margin, what is not absolutely good, but it's not bad, it's not wrong. But when I bought, they they were in the best moment in the hype with solar energy. Until December 31, 2025, we have in Brazil some subsidies to have solar energy in commerce, small and medium companies, and to create small energy, small central energy that sell your solar energy to the company and receive both on credits or money. A lot of people, especially small business, did it because it's very very interesting on that moment until today. Uh, why it occurred? Well, on I think 2016, 2015, solar panel was very expensive and few people use. So the government create this law to try to uh, become more affordable the solar panel, quieting taxes. But in 5, 10 years, solar panel became very, very cheap. The price of solar panel worldwide decreased a lot, and including in Brazil. So in 2025, the subsidy will expire, and all customers, or a large number of customers of Intelbras and small corporate customers, bought before the law, of course, and after they they have a strong drop on energy business. That is not so strong when we see overall income, but to the market, the worst thing that could occur is failed expectations. So market had a brilliant expectation, including energy. So to have this sector um, almost out of the business, it's something that punish the stock and the company very very in a hard way. We see that from Q2 2025 to Q2 2026, the drop is already start to be more stable, but still dropping. Probably on 2027, we will see numbers that will become more stable. Company will grow from this market. It's difficult to know because solar panel is still interesting. Now we have not more the incentive on tax, but in 2 years solar panel became much more and more cheaper, progressively cheaper. So it will be interesting anyway. We see here a little bit growth on security. That is the main division, and security is an interesting case because Intelbras dominates like 65% of the market in Brazil on security cams and gadgets, and is a product, a service that they have a strong moat because through small and medium business and even corporate, they provide support, assistance, they install. So it's something that to have someone near, it's a real value, and they have thousands of franchises in all cities and neighborhoods in Brazil. Well, the point is that I paid 32 for this stock. Probably I bought here. Oh, if I paid 32, probably I bought an exactly higher price. Yes, here is 23, but because I bought part on 32 and part at 14, so I bought here, and after I thought it's impossible to drop more and bought on 14, but it was possible to drop more. They stock reach 13, 11, 12, and now is again on 14. Different from Espaço Laser is that this one is a good company. It's a company that I bought again, and I think that will provide good results. But the fact is that my main purchase was wrong, was on wrong price. What I failed here? Well, the market itself, all agents did not expect so strong drop on energy. It was something in solar panels. It was something that was not so easy to have forecast. But maybe if I used to bet on more stable business. We already analyzed, for example, Itaúsa that received dividends from Itaú Bank. It's a company that received dividends from Itaú from decades. So it's much more difficult, even they have other business, but it's much more difficult to have so strong difference by one regulation or by from one year to another year. To bet on business that have consistent growth on revenue in the last 5 years and constant growth on earnings in the last 5 years is rules that protect against these mistakes. So in this case, the mistake is that I didn't follow the rules about earnings in the last 5 years on that was growing not in one-off basis or by because a law, by because something that is external to the company. The companies say nowadays that they will find they are looking for new needs, but they will remain with the focus on security. We see that the income is growing when we compare 2025 with 2023, a small decrease when we compare with 2024, but the data on Q2 comparing to Q2 2025, Q2 2026 to 2025 is already showing a small growth on income. So we see that the company remain healthy and remain a good company, but the story here is that the price I pay is not good. Well, the third one is another kind of mistake, another thing. It's Yduqs. Yduqs is Brazilian leading with another 2-3 companies on stock exchange, Brazilian leader on education. They provide these three giants provide private education for since childhood to college and in fact to doctorate, but they focus more and more on high school and college. And in the Yduqs case, mostly college and college with low ticket, uh, like e-learning, for example, and on the other hand, the premium college like for medicine and a high ticket college on business and finance in São Paulo. These ones have much lower students enrolled, but in revenue they contribute almost all the e-learning with low ticket. What was my rationale here? Well, education is a secular trend. One of the rules that I used to follow is, will people be using this product in 20 years? Education is a strong yes. And more in Brazil. When we compare Brazilian data on 20, 30 years ago, it was very negative on education. And nowadays, the data, the high frequency data, it's positive. We could say to put an example, 1920, 1980, the average scholarity for Brazilians is like 2.5 years, and for Chile is like 80 years. Nowadays, the average is like 10 years from Chileans, 8 years from Brazilians. But if we analyze the expectation on the school for someone with 15 years today, it's the same both from Brazil, Chile, Argentina, or East Europe. So Brazil recover almost all the gap the country had in education on by centuries, by decades, and the uh, the current government had an important thing, an important part, an important contribution on this on fill this gap. Uh, it's not only this, but it's part. When the current president had the first and second term on early 2000, the tertiary education expanded a lot, and the numbers of Brazilians with a degree increased very, very sharply and quickly. When the current president ran for a third term, I thought that he will do again the same thing and will bet on education because it's a party and that used to bet on education. Well, so I thought if the government will bet education, Yduqs will be very well positioned to capture this bet. I bought this. Here we have a mistake because it's not interesting to buy a company thinking in a policy that the government could do. It's a thing that I think that I don't have an edge, a special knowledge to operate. But I I had a strong confidence that the president will win the election, what occurred, and once he uh, win the election, they will put policies that support education. What occurred, but not in the way that I expect. The government analyzed by bad luck. The government analyzed that the expansion on colleges is already okay. The problem now is that children and young Brazilians that arrive to children that arrive to high school and youngers that arrive to college are less prepared than peers. So the idea instead to expand tertiary education is to improve primary and high school education. Um, Probably it's correct. It's not something that I will analyze, but the fact is that in this case um, there is no policy that beneficiate Yduqs. So me and the market were caught by surprise, and I bought on 8. I bought Yduqs on 881. I had the opportunity to sell at 21 after I had all the entire first year on almost 20 in the line of 18 from support, 21 to resistance in the first year of the current president, and also became clear that the policies will not be to colleges. That the usual policy that it was interesting to private colleges is that government pay and pay with the higher price than market, so the companies in general put a retail price, and if the students want to pay, they give 60% discount. But when the government try to pay to that to a student study there without paying nothing, the government do not have the discount. So the government pay full price. The government was a very good customer from these companies throughout the 2010. Um, Well, this time the government, the policy did not, the government didn't have this policy. In fact, to be fair, the government did not increase the policy. The policy exists and always existed. But what the market will expect is that the government will increase, and it did not occur. The company that was very indebted has decent gross margins. Let's see, gross margin here. Here, gross margin. Very okay, 60%. Some very decent, very interesting net margin. No, very interesting EBITDA, sorry. So we are talking about 30 to 231 from 1,500,000, something like 13% in 2025. In first quarter we have like 50, almost 12%, very good margin. But the point is that financial result for Yduqs is very, very negative, and they were counting with leverage because operational leverage because they have almost fixed costs. The cost to bring new students, especially on e-learning, is almost zero. So all new students will be operational leverage to mitigate the financial debt. What did not occur, and worse than this, in the last year, I think that on December, something like this, the government put a right policy that companies, universities must have a higher quality level. So, for example, previously it was possible to have only e-learning. Now it's necessary to have some days of presential class, not only e-learning. So with this, companies will have a higher cost, and it will be very difficult to pass all the costs to the students. So we are seeing higher costs and lower margins, and maybe lower enrollments. So it's a negative scenario. Even the measure being right is a very negative scenario. Mistakes here. Espaço Yduqs is a company that is in secular trend, so people will use this product in the next 20 years. Espaço has Yduqs or Espaço, they are, Espaço is the brand name that the company uses. They have strong results, operational results. They are a higher debt that is not good, a high debt is not good, but the operational results are not bad. But I think that my mistake here is that I bought by a policy. So it's mistake one. And mistake two, also I bought by a policy. I should exit on the first opportunity. I should exit without wait for years. I had wonderful opportunity to exit multiplying by 3 in some months. There is no necessity to wait more if I have no confidence on the thesis overall. If the idea is operate only the government policy. So I think that we have these two mistakes here. Well, I hope you like this video. On the next week, I will bring the part 2. Yes, I have part 2 from mistakes. For example, Brazil Agro. This one is not a mistake, it's a fraud, the biggest Brazilian one, interesting story. Maybe Brazil Bank, maybe we could classify by mistake or not. Some companies are in loss, but it's not a mistake. For example, Klabin. I think that my average price is like 40 reais 40 cents, but it's not a mistake. The point is that the scenario did not materialize yet, but the thesis, I think that is right. So the mistake is not because stock dropped, it's because I realized that I was wrong on my expectation or in my thesis. So thank you and until next week.